Hi, and thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Furk, aka Phil. I'm keep learning photography, and today I want to show you how to update your firmware on the Leica Q3 and my experience with the new firmware update. The Leica Q3 was released on the 25th of May 2023, and now already after 2 months, Leica announced the firmware update for the Q3 on the 6th of August 2023. A lot of people reported having issues with the Leica Q3 regarding shutdowns and freezing, and it just shows that Leica is pretty quick regarding firmware updates in my opinion. It also looks like that Leica just put in the priority into bug fixing this firmware, because if you have a look on the firmware logs, there's no additional features added and only the bug fixing is mentioned. But that's fine for me, since Leica has a track record to add features to their cameras in future firmware updates. For the Leica Q3, you have two options to update your firmware. The first one is straightforward, since all other camera brands do it the same way. You just download the firmware file from the website, put that file onto the root folder of your SD card, pop in your SD card, navigate into the menu to the point camera information, click on firmware and start the update. The camera will automatically recognize the file and will upgrade the firmware accordingly. It's very important to check your SD card beforehand and pull down all your photos and videos before the update, just to be sure no files gets lost. Also make sure that your battery is fully charged, or plug your Q3 into a charger. The camera will prompt you if you want to save your profiles, and that's simply meaning saving your settings which you customize on your Q3 onto the SD card, and after the firmware update you can import it later to have the same settings as set before. It will take a while and you have to restart the camera afterwards, and after the restart you will see that the Q3 will boot up as if it has been resetted to factory. Just do the basic settings and then you can go into the menu point of profiles and import your saved profile from before into the Q3 again, and all your settings which you set up for will be available again. The second way to update your Q3 is directly through the Leica Foto apps. Just open the app, just click on the accordingly point, and then the app will instruct you accordingly. According to Leica rumors, these points has been fixed. The power down freezes issue is now fixed, and the new firmware update seems to improve the startup time. The issue with the half-press preview exposure being different than what you see prior to the half-press also seems to be fixed. The second playback mode issue, where images won't display properly and sometimes lock up the camera, will be fixed in the next firmware update. I'm now having the latest firmware update installed for a few days, and my experience is that the firmware definitely improves the stability of the camera. I use my Q3 almost every day. I had at least one freeze a day where I have to pop out the battery and put it back in to reboot the camera, which I mentioned in my bug video. And it looks like that the issues I had is referred to the power down freezes, and that kind of freeze I definitely don't have anymore. It's not fixed completely, since I still have some kind of freezes which is not related to the playback mode issue, which is mentioned by Leica rumors here. Because I had now 2 times that when I use the camera and want to preview the exposure, so not being in the playback mode, somehow the camera blacks out completely, as you can see here. Trying to switch the on and off button doesn't do anything. The only solution is again to pop out the battery and reboot the camera. I'm not sure if that's a new bug introduced to the firmware update, which hopefully appears only occasionally and will also be fixed in future updates. But still, I just wanted to report my experience to you and hope that you guys who own a Q3 don't have such issues. The second point, which is here mentioned by Leica rumors, is regarding the startup time. I stopped the time before and after the update, 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds to start the camera, and after the firmware update it's the same time. Shutdown time is also almost the same, around 3 seconds on my camera before and after the update. Since Leica rumors mentioned that the playback mode issue is addressed to the second firmware update, I'm certain that that second firmware update will be also released pretty soon. It's great that Leica has a priority on the firmware update, updates, but nevertheless, the Q3 is still a $6,000 camera, and dealing with such software issues is still a pain in the butt in my opinion, since you expect premium quality with premium software and therefore expecting a premium experience which shouldn't have such software issues. But let's see what the future will bring to the Q3. If you're still here, thank you very much for watching. You deserve a like. If you want to support my small little channel, you can check the affiliate links below in the description. If you're generous, you can also buy me a cup of coffee. Link is also in the description. And if you want to know what kind of accessory tips I have for you in case you are upgrading from the Q2 to the Q3, just click on this video.